So I have here another bag for a piece that I'm going to put together. So let's open this up and see what's in here. It's a bit of a while since I actually sorted all these pieces. So you have here the teacup bottom left of tea. Here's a teacup. So you have here see if I can figure out how this goes together. So you've got a supernova in the tea. You have the teacup coming out of the nitrogen. Yeah, teacup is coming out of the nitrogen, the supernova in the tea. This is going at the bottom. Here you go, like that. It's in there. This is going at the bottom, so this is going to obscure this page number here, and this is going to be coming out to the left of the tea. I've got it now. So these all came from this science book that I got, which has got a really interesting cover that I really wish I could use, because it's one of these lenticular covers, if you can see, like that. And it's got some great individual page pictures here. Really good to use. I think I'm going to get quite a bit of use out of that one. The reason why I can't use a lenticular one, because I don't do. I'd love to do if I was the type of person to exhibitions, or if I was able to do them, I'd like to create some specifically for the exhibition. So if we could find some that have lenticular, someone that could print lenticular stuff, so I could actually have two pieces on the same thing, and as people walk around the exhibition, they will be able to see both images as they move. But I'm never going to be able to do that. So if you can pull that off, you can take the idea. So right, so let's put this together in a minute then. Right, so we'll figure out which bits we're going to cut out first. I shall put what is going to be the background to one side. I think maybe first, the easiest one to do, most urgent, I will do the cup of tea, because I'll have to cut this out, put this behind, then cut again. So let's cut the actual tea out. So I have to tidy that up a fair bit. This is one of the benefits to when I end up doing digital. It's a lot easier to do it more neatly with a mouse. You can zoom in and do it a lot more closely. I can see what I'm doing better. Right, so that's that mostly cut. Right, so now then I shall figure out before. Yeah, I like it, that bit in the top corner there. So first I should do a little bit of gluing. So that's that cut there. That one, maybe trim a little. Put that to one side so I can let the glue dry, because that UHU stuff's a little wetter than regular glue on my Pritt stick. So sometimes I like to use that because it's a smaller stick, so I sometimes try and use a smaller stick for smaller bits, if that makes any sense at all, which I hope it does. I should take the rest off that off there to get out of the way. I might be able to use that flame there, so put that to one side. So these are very good images in this book. They're very dynamic, so very expressive almost, I should say, or they're very powerful images, so they work very well for the kind of artwork I want to do. I don't know if I'll actually get through that book quite quickly, because there's a lot of there's ones where it's like, it's basically I'm not just going to use a little image from and then keep the rest of the page. It'll mostly be going through the pages, so well, it depends how often I revisit that book for ideas. Recently I've been buying books a lot more regularly, so I haven't been revisiting old books as much, or old magazines, which I should do, just for fun. However, a new book, buying a new piece of source material, can always obviously inspire you more to do more work. So like if someone buys a new guitar, they have more inspiration to play more, so they can just play it because they like the feel of the new instrument. These pages are almost like my instruments, or they're my notes. So you could say almost if like if you're clued up in music theory, you learn a new scale or a new chord, you play around with it a bit more, see what you can do with it. This is what's happening here. In fact, I'm going to change this blade because it doesn't appear as sharp as I'd like. So that feels a bit better. At some point I might get myself a good pair of scissors so I can experiment with seeing how well that would work, because I do that finger knife, and I do still sometimes use that, but it's more I more might use it for like if gripping the scalpel is starting to hurt my hand. I'm getting a little older now, so And also with it being the finger, you can, it's almost like you can, if you get in there, you can get in there a little closer, where you can see a bit better. But I've got to change the blade on this as well, so I'm going to go back to the scalpel. I mean, for some people, I don't know if there is a bit of a divide, but it's not like almost like an angry divide, but there's a bit of a divide between scissor users and scalpel users, because there is a difference to the look that you get from it. It's just, I've always used a knife, so since I've been doing this, you know, actually actively doing this as an art form, I've rarely used scissors in the past. It's just the knives that I have are a lot better now, because when I started, I used those little snap-up ones, little snap-off blades, and they're okay to pinch, but you don't really have the you can't really get the you can't see as much of what you're supposed to be doing. You don't get quite the precision. And these, and certainly, I've just thrown it a bit far back in the thing now. And certainly this, you get quite a point, even though, yeah, like I said, this needs replacing. I do have some more blades for this, so I will do it at some point. So that's this guy cut out, pretty much. Actually, I've just got a couple more bits to do and draw around. And we have the guy on the bungee jump, the bungee jumper. I remember when that first started to get popular over here in the UK, at some point in the 90s. I've never done it myself because I would just hate the sensation. That's why I don't like fair rides or anything like that. Just the sensation of things like that are unpleasant to me. So this is one that's coming across pretty quickly, I think. I will use the ruler here to draw along. Oops, press down hard enough. That there. I'll just get rid of that so it's not switching the way. I've cut a little into the rope there, but that will be fixable, I think. Before I forget, I will draw on the inside there. This is coming away pretty quickly, easing quickly, I think. It's a good job this is a dark piece though, because it's easier to do the thing around the edges, hides some of the cuts because especially with a dark edge, you don't want the white lines that comes about from using a knife, because that is one of the differences I've been told between knives and scissors. Is scissors, you don't get quite so much of this line, it's a different kind of cut. I don't know if it's because it's two blades coming together to make the cut, or unless you're really super skilled, the blade will cut at a slight angle. So that's why you would see the white side of the paper a bit. And with a lighter image, it's not going to matter as much. With a dark image like this, you will be able to see it. However, that is what the black pen is for. So any tip for you to take away from these videos, that will be one of them. Or to use scissors. Then you'll get some knife people like me who would be like, I couldn't use scissors, I don't know, but I've spoken to some people who primarily use scissors who say they would be worried to use a knife, that then end up with lots of nicks and cuts. And with how clumsy I am, I'm surprised I don't. But that could be an answer to them if they say they'll get lots of nicks and cuts. And for you worrying about this, if someone as clumsy as me can use the knife without slicing themselves up, you certainly can. It's almost done. It's funny, he's going through this very active thing, this very rush of sensations, and he's got a very peaceful look on his face. But it depends on the person that goes for these things, really. Some people will find tranquility in the rush of excitement. Right, so that's that cut. And now, as I said before, I'm going to cut the teacup out. I've gone a bit thick with the glue because it does look a bit wrinkled. So maybe for ones here where I'm going to cut out a second time, maybe I should actually use the Pritt stick for those ones. Well, that's that off and out the way, so it can be thrown out. And it has torn the side a bit here, so I'll have to do a bit of rounding off. I'll tidy up here a bit. Let me get this off just so it doesn't need to be cut through twice, because then it's just making more work for myself over on the blade. and this is nearly all cut, and after that it's just the sticking together. This tea though is, this cup and saucer is creating me more trouble than anything else I have in the past. I don't know why. It's partly they're trying to get it round and not look bad. Right, so let's see. Maybe a little bit more. Just don't want this to go on forever for you, because it should be no fun to watch all of. Right, so I'll say that's that there. So I will cut here and put the teacup in there. So all that rounding done at the bottom is for noughts. However, there's some stuff at the bottom that hasn't worked very well, so it's actually a good thing, really. So I shall get my gluing pad that I'm still using as a gluing pad, and let's get all this stuck together. Let's got that in there like that. So there you go. So that's the teacup. Now I'll put the bikes down next. In fact, they'll have to go there, and I'll have to do something else to obscure that number. I'll find something, no doubt. Let's get this on here like that. I thought maybe putting these on here would be able to obscure the number better, but it just wouldn't look right. I don't think they'd be too flat down there. So that there, and I shall have the bungee jumper come down this way. And I shall see if I can find something to cover up that spot. So that's him done there. In fact, I'm going to do something a bit silly and clever, or attempting to be clever. So I've got to cut this bit off anyway. And I'm going to put the jumper's arm over the spot, and it's almost totally covered it. There you go, quick solution. And there's just some edges that will need trimming off afterwards. I shall do that after when the glue's dried. Now I shall sign it. And I shall call this, not much space to write actually. I should call this dynamic energy, because they were talking about one of the pages was talking about things being thermal, so I made me think of thermal energy, but I wasn't sure if that would really fit in well with what the things are going on there. However, some of the parts of it are quite dynamic, so the title, Dynamic Energy. So just trim this little bit off here. Here we go there, and here we have what I think is a pretty good little piece. I like the way that you've got the space part in the cup of tea. It looks mysterious. It's coming out of it's got the mist, the fog behind it. Everything else that's going on. Like I said, I'm quite happy with the little fix I had for the number. I don't know if people will identify it as being his hand without seeing this video, but it's all good fun. So let me know what you think. Like, share and subscribe. My description has my link tree, which has my merch links and my socials, and I shall speak to you soon. Thank you.